Hello everybody, my name is Mcclendon. I'm going to be talking about and reacting to this video about the migrants that's happening in the United States and how they're all coming, for a lot of them are coming from Haiti. This is a huge crisis that the media and other medias are not talking about, so I'm going to share it with you. So I'm going to roll it, guys. I'm going to give you my 2 thoughts during the video. Just drop a comment below what you guys think, and we can have a conversation. All right, let's begin.
Love my body, just rush the border. New video shows chaos at the southern border. Over 10,000 migrants cramming themselves under a bridge in Del Rio, Texas. And officials say 10,000 more immigrants are on their way to join them. The massive makeshift shelter highlighting just how bad the problem is. Our own Bill Mcclendon showing earlier how migrants can easily cross a dam and make their way into Texas with no resistance. Now, keep in mind, the White House refuses to say that what we are all seeing is a crisis. They won't call it a crisis. Republicans are furious with the president and the fact that he's allowing this to happen. Watch.
It is the most horrific thing I've ever seen. It is packed in as a mass of humanity.
When it comes to illegal immigration, you just can't trust the Biden administration. It would be like trusting Harvey Weinstein with your daughter.
He is failing, and he is willfully disregarding his duty to enforce the laws of the United States.
This is not authorized by the state of Texas. It's not welcomed by the state of Texas or any other Republican state that I know, and they're not invited.
Now, it's pretty crazy that if you guys saw the videos or are not, because some people were just hearing about this, a lot of the people are dying on the way here or drowning inside the water. And a lot of the videos that, if you saw the previous senator, he has videos of people drowning in it, and this is being incentivized, talking about how these people need to come to America. And, you know, they talk about the rest of the video. It just blows my mind that, you know, a lot more isn't being done with this. A lot more is not being talked about this. I mean, this is just Fox News, but a lot of the, like, CNN or the other medias are not even having anything about it. She'll go into.
So, Emily, this has become such a crisis, and it's only been recently that Del Rio has become such a magnet. And they're saying it's because the president has refused to fly these mostly Haitian immigrants back to Haiti. So what is going on here?
Tragedy upon tragedy, compounded by an inept administration that refuses to acknowledge that this crisis is even present. And for an administration that claims to prioritize COVID over everything, you know, the vaccination rate in Haiti is 0.1%. 8,000 of those migrants under that bridge are from Haiti, as you pointed out. We know that, for example, in Mcclendon, Texas, there was a 15% COVID positive rate in the 7,000 migrants that have been released into that town in recent months. However, remember, New York City public schools shut down at 3%. So which is it? What is the priority of this administration? Now, I know that they're folding into this.
Now, here's the thought, guys. It seems like to me that the priority of this administration is to collapse the dollar and collapse America as much as they can to build back better. You gotta just, for some reason, you gotta destroy it and recreate it, rebuild it back up. Destroying values, forcing these dumb vaccines, what else, and locking people in their houses. This, I mean, come on, man. This is not how America should be. We should be more free. We should be able to think this through. But a lot of it is driven through fear, and people are just not finding a system. You know, this is ridiculous. Americans shouldn't be about this stuff. But, you know, let's roll it some more.
Humongous bill that, with our tax dollars, will fund amnesty for all. But in the interim, it's a complete humanitarian crisis. These people have no adequate shelter. What looks like a party is an absolute cesspool. They are standing in their own feces. There's no running water that's clean. There's no potable water. There's no food sources. And instead of being put back to a safe place where they're from, they're just being left there in squalor with an administration and a mainstream media that turns its head.
And they can't turn their head right now because Fox has been flying a drone over the area just to capture the footage so people can see exactly what's going on and the number of desperate Haitians, South Americans, Mexicans who are trying to get into this country. But Bill Mcclendon has been reporting that there's a temporary flight restriction for 2 weeks. So we won't even be able to see these pictures. And you have 3 kids that you know of. You do have a baby. And so when babies put their hands over their eyes, they think that no one can see them. So the Biden administration wants to remove the Fox News drone so no one can see how bad it's really gotten in Del Rio, Texas.
And one thing, where's Kamala Harris on this? Like, I just don't get it. She does not exist or something? She's, oh yeah, she's in California helping out Gavin Newsom, which people voted in, which, why? Still trying to figure that out. I mean, there's a whole bunch of other candidates that would have been a whole lot better. And that's another story or another video, but, you know, it makes no sense. I mean,
pattern that we've seen. He creates a crisis, then tries to cover it up and then lie about it. First, they wouldn't let the media in to these camps where they had the kids in cages. Then they hid the kids, flew them all over the country. And now they're saying Fox can't fly our drone overhead to capture the footage.
They did lift the ban a few hours ago because there was a lot of pushback when it was a very obviously politically motivated ban.
Right. And so that's what they do. And then they lie and they say everything's fine. It's not a crisis. Actually, it's Trump's fault. And which one?
Everything that Biden does wrong, he will blame on Trump. Trump is the problem for everything. Just how it is. They always blame the previous administration. This will be done for the next 3 years and some change, continuously. Orange man bad, Trump bad, MAGA bad. It's come on, man. Like, there's got to be some thought to this.
When is it? But here's why the media doesn't cover it. I think Fox is the only one with a drone. One of the main reasons is because a lot of people that work out in New York and D.C., they don't even see Texas as part of the country. This is this silly red state way down south. Maybe they'll go to Austin, to South by Southwest. They'll get a kick out of the music in the bar, and then they'll fly right back and say, I've been to Texas. They don't go to Brownsville. They don't go to McAllen or Laredo. They don't understand if you have...
Neither does Vice President Harris.
Neither does she, right? So if you have 10,000 Haitians or random guys from Nicaragua or Mexico just lined up pouring into a small town, a ranching town, families that have kids in school and small businesses, you're just going to overwhelm that town. The town can't handle that kind of influx of random people like that. Unvaxxed, no documents, no education, no English. You're going to pour across the border into a small town like that? These people are crying out for help, and the media just doesn't care because they're not affected by it. It's a 27-hour drive from Texas to New York. Might as well be Australia.
That's a much longer drive with no bridge.
And if you guys have been hearing about Australia, that place, that's what it shows when when a government has too much power over their people, which America is getting to that point. They're trying to pass stupid laws where the IRS can go through any account over $600 and be able to look at all your transactions. For what? For what? To stop people from to help pay for the stupid plans they want to do, and basically stupid plans they want to pass, and basically stop tax fraud. Come on now, really? You're gonna spend all that effort for a very minuscule amount of money? You're printing more than you'll actually earn. Not earn, but take. This is like the shadow or the government forcing their hand into people's back pocket, their front pocket, jab you in the arm, and make you stay home. It's going to be next thing is, hey, you can't eat this food here. You got to eat only these foods here. Can't shop here. You need to only go to this place. This type of things, if we're not fighting it or stopping these people, America will be doomed. It will be another Australia or even worse.
Harder to drive to Australia.
Good point, Jesse. So how do the Democrats make a political win out of this? Because you have Republicans and Democrats in a state that's trying to go from purplish to blue, and you have...
You know, one thing about this whole Republican-Democrat thing, I just wish we had independent thinkers and people just didn't decide based off of R or D. Why does it even matter? Like, it blows my mind. It's like, hey, this is what the Constitution says right here. Well, I'm a Democrat, I'm a Republican. It doesn't matter. Don't team up like that. Just team up as an American first. Hey, how can we solve this problem? I hate that red and blue conversation. It's so tiresome.
Democrat lawmakers who see what's happening and see how the towns and their constituents, to Jesse's point, are completely overrun. And this is something that Republicans are going to make hay with next year in the midterms.
I think that's a good question and a valid.
And we have our new clown. He is the same as Juan, actually a little bit worse than Juan. Juan was a little bit funnier. But this guy is the new clown. Let's see what the clown has to say.
Question, Kennedy, and I think the way to start is by telling the story of those Haitians at that border. And here's what we know. We know this, that most of the Haitians that are at that border would qualify for temporary protective status under American law and under international law. Many of those people have been through 2 earthquakes, 2 hurricanes. Many of them left the country of Haiti. They got on ships and went to Brazil. They then walked on foot from Brazil to America's southern border, a journey that takes almost 15 months, right? And as they're on this southern border, they are waiting to qualify for asylum. Many of them can't qualify for asylum because of Title 52, which is a program that says because of health restrictions, you cannot cross that border. Because of America's clogged immigration courts, they are not seeing an immigration judge. So this is a story about delays in the immigration courts. An unmodernized immigration court system has caused many of these folks that would qualify for temporary protective status to be, as you just said, Emily, to be in a situation where there's a humanitarian crisis on the southern border by people that will qualify for humanitarian asylum in the United States. We are a giving country, right? That's why we have Lady Liberty couple miles from here. These individuals who we should be giving to.
So they're prioritized above.
No, it's not prioritizing. No, it's not about prioritizing them over that. These are folks who already qualify.
That's the argument that you're making right now.
I'm saying they
not everyone
for.
I mean, whatever the administration is, there's a fixed number of people.
Very true. Right, but I'm saying there's already laws and there's already a law in place on the books for them to qualify. Temporary protective status, they would qualify for that. Problem is many of them aren't seeing an immigration judge because the courts are just so overrun, they're so clogged that it might be 2 or 3 years before they even get a court case.
The difference, Richard, is you have Americans still stranded in Afghanistan who Biden has abandoned.
But you're mixing apples and oranges.
Priorities. I'll say, I mean, like, it just seems like America's so confused. You know, we got so many issues happening. We got Afghanistan, that whole debacle. I mean, we got the border, voting. I mean, it seems like there's a complete breakdown of basic things that shouldn't be a problem, in my opinion. I mean, voting shouldn't be a problem in the United States. It should be very simple. But that's another video.
Thousands of Haitians
You're mixing
that
apples
really
and oranges.
Don't qualify
Immigration
to be a priority.
courts versus
Not a
what's
priority,
happening in
Richard.
Afghanistan
We have
are 2
Americans
different
stranded
things.
overseas right now. Make them a priority.
Can't verify the manifest. We certainly can't verify 10,000 people a day who are coming into a small town. Greg?
Yeah, it is interesting. So the government actually tries to temporarily take down the drones. In the previous administration, they would have invited the press down to see every.
And another thing, like, look at the press under Trump and look at the press under Biden. Completely polar opposites. Under Trump couldn't do anything without the cameras being there. But Biden, shoot. Something's happening, cameras go over here. Something's happening over there, cameras go over there. Oh, Biden's doing such an amazing job in Afghanistan. Other news channels talking about, wow, how many people are being killed, how many people are being captured. It's like, come on, man. The bias is so... I don't see how people don't even start. Why do people even watch those channels anymore? Stop this. Just turn them off. Let them lose their fundings. If you'll stop watching, stop watching the other news channels. I mean, I'm not saying Fox the best, but at least they're talking about the border crisis.
Everything. I guess Biden only approves of drones if they're killing people. If this coverage, this Bill Mcclendon coverage, this amazing, footage were on any other network, let's say NBC, it would win Emmys because the visuals have the power of creating a real, true narrative that Richard should applaud because it would tell the story that he would want to hear. These visuals are striking. They're forcing the mainstream media to actually maybe, get off their butts. These are images that honestly can make a difference, but it tells you why nothing changes. It's because the media are the gatekeepers. The left are the media gatekeepers for the media. If there's just one small, trickle of injustice anywhere under a Republican, the media will amplify it, right? But you could have months of this. We've had months of this. A lot of it suffering, a lot of it unmitigated suffering, and it takes Fox and Fox's visuals and Bill Mcclendon to force the media into a corner to do this when a Democrat's in power. You actually have to shame them to actually do their jobs. But this is why we often can't do anything about it, because of the monopoly of thought in the
Monopoly of thought. I'm happy you brought that up. And also how the media companies are directly working with the Biden administration. Thanks to Jen Psaki, how she said, you know, we're directly talking to the social media companies. What? Social media companies and the media working with the government? Collusion? Oh, no. Let's not talk about that. Let's talk about Trump and something else.
media, which is aligned with Democrats, makes this kind of coverage so rare. And I don't know how they go forward when now they can see this. This is award-winning stuff.
NBC gave this 4 seconds. Coverage of this issue in mainstream media besides us has declined 94%, while the surge itself of these people, of these humans, has increased by over 300%, to your point.
But they know they're suffering. They just don't want to tell the story. If they did, maybe you could alleviate it.
All right, guys, that's the video. Thank you so much for making it to the end. All I need you guys to do is drop a comment below. I will comment to all the comments that I possibly can to help build this conversation up, to talk about this craziness. And thank you guys. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video.